Thank you, Sean. Thank you for everyone at Icon Coaching.
Simon, congratulations, man. You know what that is?
That's winning.
It's winning, baby. I love it when you're winning. That's fantastic.
I got 2 under contract, so that's like 2.8 million in 2 weeks.
You've got to take control of your production to make sure that you're making more money, your bank account balance is rising, that your net worth is increasing, and that's what we want to see happen.
So that they can save the listing.
Which I'm really, really thankful for, Sean. Thank you.
See everyone coming on board. Welcome to Icon Coaching's webinar.
Hello and welcome, Icon Nation, to our webinar. Gang, we do this every single Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. I'm so grateful that you made the decision, that you tuned in today, because we have a very special guest today, a real estate coach. A lot of people look at me and say, Sean, why on earth would you let another coach onto your webinar? Because she's amazing. There's no doubt about that. And I'm not dumb enough to think that everybody on the face of this planet really likes me and wants to work with me directly. Right? Sherri and I, we had to talk about this. Some people maybe don't want to work with Sherri. She gets it. They might want to work with me, and vice versa. And I trust that each one of you recognize there's certain aspects of this business that you can share the wealth. There's no doubt about that. So I just want to glean as much information from Sherri during our webinar today. It's going to be a blast, you guys. I want you to type into the chat. In fact, let's just practice that right now. Tell us, where are you located geographically in this word? Just go ahead and type in the chat. Where are you located? And I've got my chat pulled up. We've got Richmond, Virginia. Way to go, Olivia. Thank you. Denver, Colorado. I grew up there. Love it. See, Kyle's here. Welcome, Kyle. There's Richmond, Indianapolis, Sacramento, Tyler, Texas. Welcome. I got a good friend there, Brian Chin. Tell him I said hi when you see him. Good stuff, guys. Idaho. Oh, San Diego. Love my time in San Diego, guys. That is amazing. Right on. Well, thank you guys for practicing the chat with me. I want you to know you can type into the chat at any time if you have any questions, concerns, challenges. We're here to help, and we want to see you guys crush it with your real estate careers. Without any further delay, I want to introduce Sherri to our call today. Sherri, you've got a rich and varied background in real estate sales. You've coached and consulted some of the top producing agents, teams, even brokerages on the face of the planet. So we're just here to take great notes today. And I know that you've got a dynamic lineup of key talking points for us. So without any further delay, Sherri, introduce yourself. Tell us a thing or two about us, about you. Tell us, why would we want to listen to what you have to say? Take it away.
Awesome. Well, I am first of all, so excited that you're all here with me today. Sean, thank you for having me. It is an absolute honor and privilege. I have known you and everything you've done for the last 30 years, way back to Howard Britton Star Power. So to be here with you today is really quite an honor, a privilege. I don't take lightly, because we are all winning. That's what's so great about mindset and the people like Sean and myself who believe that in an abundance mindset, we all win. So I am going to share some great strategies with you today. I hope you've got your pens out, your notepads. Please take action item notes. Like, I want you to write down aha moments, but I also really want you to write down things you're going to implement, okay, that are actually going to change your life. And that's what this is about today. I'm going to show you how to turn one listing into 3 to 5 sales. I'm going to show you how to build a 10, 15, or $20 million pipeline. This is a system I used as a brand new agent after I had, I'll tell you the story in a minute, but I was sitting there thinking, where is my next deal coming from? Oftentimes you're in crisis sales mode. I know that because I've coached thousands of agents just like you. And Sean, we know that agents go from deal to deal and then they come up for air and they're like, I don't have any more business. So we're going to prevent that from happening and create what I call predictable and consistent monthly income that is scalable. You can go from 3 million to 10 million in less than a year. You can go from 5 or 6 million to 15 plus in less than a year. It's just about having a better strategy and a better plan. So I'm going to share my screen, get the slide deck up here for us, and get us into really what is called Goldmine Pipeline. And what's so great about this system is it doesn't, whoa, look at that. Wow, my whole calendar is coming up here. Let's just go straight to the slide. Sorry about that. What's so great about the Goldmine Pipeline is you are really actually sitting on a gold mine of, some of you, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when you look at this system, what's great about it is it does not matter what your current production level is, whether at 2 million, 30 million, 50 million, 100 million, whether you are newer or experienced. So it doesn't matter what your experience level is, and it does not matter what your current production is. This system will transform your life by having what I call a backlog of future business. Write that down, like a backlog. You need future business. All of us want to know that we have 5 sales and 5 listings in November and December of this year, right? I need you to think and play a long game approach. That's what we're going to do today. You're going to absolutely love this. I know it. Real quick, I am born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, lived here my whole life. Started real estate in 1996. So I just started my 30th year, which sounds impossible, but it's true. What's great is my very first month in the business, my self-made father, who started his own company and was wildly successul, he said to me, "You may not sell a house for 6 months. You might want to get another job, Sean." That's what he said to me. And I said, "Well, if it takes me 6 months to sell one house, like, I'm not doing this." And I had a car payment, a condo payment, and a really high shopping habit at age 26, no kids. I was single, and I was like, do or die. Like, I have to sell houses. I don't have a choice. And I hit the ground running. And, fear of failure. And I don't know whether my dad did this to light a fire or to be realistic. He says it was to be realistic, but I had 5 sales my first month in the business. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is not to say and brag that I had 5 sales. It's to say to you that my whole life changed. I realized very quickly how to best win at real estate. And that was one sale came from someone in my sphere from 2nd grade. Tim Kren bought a house from me, which was great. And the other 4 deals came from one house, my first listing. And so I learned very quickly, right? I sold it myself. That's 2 sales. Those people had a house to sell. I sold their property in 2 weeks. And then I picked up a buyer and sold them something in the same month. So I had 4 sales from one house. And some of you are like, what is she talking about? Things don't stay on the market long enough. You can, regardless of whether the house sells quickly, you can maximize and leverage every one of your listings to sell more houses. I learned that first month in business. I said, this is how you do real estate. And then I built my entire coaching program around it. So we're going to talk about that. But that's what happened my first month. So then I had 27 sales my first year. I said, I want to be in the top 50, the top 25. I was a solo agent selling between 50 and 75 houses a year. And I knew that I wanted to launch a real estate coaching, speaking, and consulting company one day. That was in 1996, 97. I joined a real estate company, bought our company, and I joined their executive team. I trained and coached and recruited thousands of agents. For about 22 years, I was at a company called Howard Hanna Real Estate. And I was responsible for growing the west side of Ohio. We had ended with about 800 agents and from 500 million to $2 billion in growth during like a 4-year stint. And I can tell you the exact formula is what I'm sharing with you, this Goldmine Pipeline system that I took, people from 6 million to 60 million very quickly. I'm going to share with you exactly how to do that. In 2017, I launched Sherri Johnson Coaching, Consulting, and Speaking. I built the Sherri Johnson Academy, and it's got hundreds of courses for agents, teams, and brokerages. As Sean said, I've coached all top coach for several of the top brands. It's been a fun 8 years, and it's just getting started. So there are 2 podcasts I want you to download. This one is my retired one, but it's called You Rock, a real estate podcast. This one podcast has about 320 episodes unbelievable people on here, team leaders, rookie to rockstar agents, all kinds of amazing content, just social media experts, as well as just really good, solid content. People tell me they've sold 5 houses from listening to this podcast. I want you to download it, start listening to it. Love it. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I was at NAR and I had just gone running. I had a baseball hat on and I was talking on my phone in the elevator, probably weirdly. And this woman grabbed me. She said, "You're Sherri Johnson. I recognize your voice," which I can't really go. I didn't go anywhere with this voice, but I said, "Oh, you must listen to my podcast," because I didn't recognize her. She grabbed my arm, Sean, and she said, "I not only listen to your podcast, I've sold 5 houses from your podcast." And I was like, whoa, like that just made my entire month and like blown away.
I love it.
This is the first podcast we did. It's called You Rock. As you see, there is a title called You Can Make, 50 grand at your next open house. So I want you to take note of that because the open house is the GOAT of all lead generation. It's free. You just have to have a better strategy. You have to sit in an open house that's a move up buyer so that you get listing opportunities from that. So many times we're just doing that open house to make the seller happy. We don't know how to get through the weird when people don't want to give us their names. And so we lose those opportunities. If I get to it today, we'll cover how do you do that? How do you make $50,000 from an open house? I just had a guy in coaching. He picked up 7 leads from an open house. He said, "I used your strategy, Sherri. I got 7 opportunities." I said, "Are they all going to sell with you too?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Well, that's 14 transactions." Turned out it was about a 460 sale price. It's about $6 million, $190,000 in GCI. Not a bad day at the open house. So I want to take down this one. And then my new podcast is called The Sherri Johnson Show. We launched this about 3 months ago. The people I've interviewed on this are amazing. In fact, Sean's going to be on it very soon. But talk about like awesome. There are AI experts, meta classes. I've got the best of the best in the country sharing their best practices with us on the Sherri Johnson Show. So download both of these. You will be very, very happy. I didn't even realize this was in here. This is just my contact info. If you want, you can download some really great free ebooks and things from this app, and certainly you can use some of that. I'm going to share with you that 20-minute free call at the end here. But let's get right into this. If you have a winning mindset, all things start with where is your mindset? Are you actually winning? Do you see yourself winning? Do you have a scarcity mindset or an abundant mindset? When I see people tell me, they say, "Well, I don't have anybody to put on the Goldmine Pipeline that are solid." And I say, well, actually you do. Your problem is you only give your time and attention to the 3 to 5 people. And I'm speaking to a lot of you right now. You give your time and attention to 3 to 5 people that want to do something right now. Let's be honest, right? And so you discount the 6-month out person. They're not ready. Why would I meet with those people? Well, I'll share with you why you'll want to in a moment. So we need a 10X action plan. We need to fill your Goldmine pipeline with potential leads. I would rather you have 60 to 70 leads on my pipeline than try to call 350 people a week. That sounds exhausting. That's not fun, right? Let's have a better strategy with the 70 people that are on your pipeline. 35 buyer leads, 35 listing leads. Typically, Sean, they're the same people, right? They're the same client buying and selling. So when you see this, you will understand you're sitting on a goldmine of potential business. When I sat in my condo after I had those 5 sales, I was like, now what, right? Where are the next 5 coming from? So often, Sean, agents will say, "Well, Sherri, I have 8 closings in escrow." I'm like, "That's great. That's awesome. I love it. Where are the next 8 coming from? Do you have the
That's
next
right.
8 already lined up?" And chances are, most of the time, their eyes get big and they say, "I don't." And so I don't care whether you're at 20 million or 5 million or 100 million. There has to be a continuous flow of leads. So we're going to cover this, and I'm going to share with you literally how you can change all of that this afternoon. I mean,
Let me add
literally.
additional context just real fast, Sherri. See, most agents, they work hard to get to a position of momentum in their business. Yet sadly, when they get to momentum, they don't have the models, the systems, the technology, or people in place to really handle that that influx of business. So what do? They get sucked down in the weeds into the 80% side of the business, meaning Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of your actions will yield 80% of your results in real estate sales. And yet, because they've got all these pending contracts, Sherri, they get into the contract close process. They're dealing with contractors, inspections, title companies, mortgage companies, all the emotions of the buyers, sellers, investors in the transaction. And sadly, what happens to their pipeline phase? Doesn't it tend to evaporate? They just ignore it. They don't do their lead gen. They don't do their lead follow-up. And why? Well, because I'm busy. Of course, I got to make sure these deals close, but then they close and it's like, oh, I have 0 pending. I have 0 active listings. Now what? Which is why we have this roller coaster of production, of income. Guys, what Sherri's talking to you about, and I want you to really lean into this conversation, is really to how to maintain consistency around lead generation, lead follow-up, and those activities that are dollar productive that are going to bring you more business. So Sherri, sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
Not at all. It's exactly the point. And, everybody, the last quarter is the second best quarter in real estate sales. The best quarter, obviously, is our second quarter spring market, but the second best quarter is right now, and we're in it. So I want you to think, what could you say? What could you say if you were going to write down, I want to make $100,000 in the first quarter. I want to make X in January, right? That can happen when you fill this form out, when you actually monetize the value of all the leads you're talking to, whether they're 2 weeks out, 2 months out, or 2 years out. And that list will start to materialize as I'm talking, I hope, right? I think that's what's so great about this system, is that you can start right now. This gets you out of a slump. If you're a brand new agent, it is going to trajectory right into a consistent, like this. We're going up, 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 instead of that roller coaster ride of feast and famine. And basically, I think what happens is you spend 6 weeks closing all that business. And as Sean just said, you didn't consistently do lead gen. Lead generation, write this down, please, has to be a daily activity all the time. You can never let off the gas on lead generation. You just can't, or you will have the up and down roller coaster ride. And it's so stressful, and it doesn't have to be. Think about being able to project. You can look at your pipeline, and the way I'm going to show this to you, you could actually look at the next 2 months and say, with certainty, I'm going to forecast what the next 2 months look like for number of listings and number of sales. So I'll give you the exact formula for how many people have to be on the pipeline in order to close the income that you want. You just work backwards. I'm only going to comment on this one slide that, number one, what we track and measure improves. We know this, it's scientifically proven. What we track and measure improves. It always does. When I go running, I look at my watch, and I'm looking at the pace, the distance, the hills, the not hills. And in science, we can do the same thing. In manufacturing, they do this. In your
Do you know the Hawthorne effect? Have you heard the Hawthorne effect?
Exactly it. That's right.
It's the Hawthorne effect, guys. Look it up. You'll see what Sherri's talking about.
When you track and measure something, and then add the element of accountability, turning something into your coach, turning it into an accountability partner, whoever that is. It can't be yourself, right? If I only counted on myself, which I do, I'm self-driven, but at the same time, when I'm accountable, I am going to get it done. Okay, so adding accountability will actually exponentially improve what you're tracking and measuring. It works. It's like it's literally going to 10x your results. And that's why we love that word. I always say, let's look at your results. That's really the height of, real accountability, are the results there.
Most agents I know, though, Sherri, they reject accountability. They don't want it. It's a bad word. It makes them cringe, right? It makes them palms sweat up and everything else. Yet the word accountability, guys, ends with one word. If you broke the word apart, what does it end with? It ends with ability. See, to me, accountability is a form of caring. It's love. In essence, you care about the person. Therefore, you choose to hold them accountable to their greatness. See, we're independent contractors, guys. We want all the freedom. We want the flexibility, and we struggle with ways to be accountable. So get an accountability buddy at a minimum. Get a mentor. Get a friend. Get get a coach at the highest level, no doubt about that. You see, when we pay for something, Sherri, we find value in it, don't we?
That's right. That's right. It's like
I
me
would say
going,
it like this: if you found a Congressional Medal of Honor on the sidewalk, would you wear it? Probably not.
that's a good
People get paid a
analogy.
price to earn it, right? So back to you, Sherri.
Yeah, and it's like me going to Lifetime Fitness by myself for 85 bucks a month or hiring a personal trainer.
Sure.
You know, go to the personal trainer. Stephanie basically is like, let's go, and I get better results. If you have a hard time with that word, it's accessibility too. So let's get over it. Let's know that what we actually want is right at your finger. It's right there. The greatest thing about real estate is it's flexible. The worst thing about real estate is it's flexible. Okay. So this is not meant to be whatever, but I'm telling you right now, if you don't have a disciplined daily routine, it's not going to work. This prospecting, lead gen, whatever you want to call it, filling your calendar with appointments has to happen. Period. So I want you to have the right mindset. I want you to say, I can and I will. It's not, oh, maybe or if. This is a matter of operating either in abundance or scarcity. And so often, I have a slide, I don't know if it's in here, but your sales aren't down, your belief in yourself is. We have been taught to set realistic goals. I can't stand that word. I want you to have ridiculous goals. I actually want you to think, how can I hit certain numbers, right? What's another $150,000 do to your life? For real. What's another $300,000 do to your life? Because the only thing standing between you and making that happen is yourself and your belief and what you are spending that 80% of your time on, frankly, right? And turning that into a real plan that is intentional. So I want you to write this down. I will until, it's one of my favorite phrases. I will blank until blank happens. See, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to go do an open house and see what happens, or I'm going to go, I'll make 10 calls and see if anybody wants to buy or sell. That's not going to cut it. In our business, it has to be I will until. I will make as many calls as I have to, Sean, until I have 4 listing appointments on my calendar for the week. How's that sound?
I love it. That
Right?
is so good.
So I will until. You're not done until you've hit the goal. That's a lot different than I'm just going to make a few phone calls or send out some postcards. All right. I want you to think super big. I just told you to write down some numbers. What could you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Before you start the pipeline, I want you to write down 3 income numbers that you want to make. What you'd like to make, what you have to make first. What's that number you have to make or you're not doing real estate, right? And some of you, it might be the number that you made last year and you're like, I'm not making less than this, Sherri. Okay, put that down. It's totally your number. But what is it that you have to make either to fulfill the requirements for your family? Maybe you're the second income earner, the required second income, or maybe you both have to make X. Whatever that number is, put it down. The second number is going to be the goal that you had before you met Sean or me, before we pushed you to a stretch goal, which is going to be our third goal. That middle number, right, should be twice what you put on the first one. Let's just be honest, okay? It should be at least twice that. And then the third number, this amazing, outrageous, crazy, ridiculous, not realistic. I want that number on there. I would rather you shoot for the moon and land on some stars than shoot for the flagpole outside and hit the flagpole, right? I mean, I love the flag. It's about what are you capable of doing? Like I had an agent in Georgia. I was at a company down there in Atlanta. And I said, hey, Keisha, what are your goals for this year? It was January. And she said, well, last year I did 6.9 and this year I'm going to do 9 million. And I said, oh, okay. I said, why so low? And she said, she looked at me kind of funny. And I said, well, your average sale price is 500,000 and 6.9 is really 7 million. So you're going up $2 million, which is really only 4 transactions over a 12-month period. I don't understand. Why aren't we putting 1 more unit a month on 12 more units at 500,000? So we went into a conference room and she said, I never looked at it like that. We recalculated her goals, everybody, and we put 14 million as her stretch goal. She closed 12 and a half, 3 million, 3.5 million more than what she had set down on that goal she thought was realistic because it was harder to do 2 million more in her head than it was to do one more unit per month. So I want to challenge you right now. What are you capable of doing? When you fill out this pipeline, which I'm going to jump into next, when you fill this pipeline out, you will see that you have to recalculate these numbers because you're probably too low. That's what's so great, Sean, about the pipeline is you actually have so much more that you're like, oh, my numbers are too low on the first exercise that we just did. So I want you to think about this. The power of one listing, I brought this up earlier, is that every listing should bring about 3 to 5 more sales. All right. You control the marketing. You have the ability to do an open house at that house if you launch it on a Thursday or Friday, a neighborhood open house. There's so many ways to leverage that property. We just miss every opportunity. So if you're not a listing agent right now, I need you to say, I don't really know how to work the listing side, but I'm going to learn, because when you own the listings and you have signs and yards, right? And you can leverage those listings into 3 to 5 more sales, you'll always have buyers, right, Sean? I mean, listings create more buyers. And every top agent I know, well, they're a listing agent, or they're a listing machine. We know that. That's what we teach as coaches. We want you to get into this mode of thinking, I can maximize every sale into 3 to 5 more sales. How many of you have a listing appointment right now on the calendar? If you do, go into the chat and let Sean and I know. Yes, awesome. Some of you have more than one listing appointment this week. Way to go. That's awesome. If you have a listing, fabulous. My next question is, thanks, Diane and Tina. How many of you have a listing appointment this week and you just don't know the address yet, right? Like, raise your hand right now, because I want you to say out loud, I have a listing or sale this week. I just don't know the address yet. That's part of our mindset problem. Like, you have to walk around and say, I'm going to sell something this week. I just don't have the address yet. You set goals. I'm going to
I
sell.
love that. Sherri, I got to pause. I absolutely love that. Act as if, right? I will blank until blank. It's so fantastic. I say it like this, Sherri. You were born without your wisdom teeth. They just hadn't shown up yet, right? So it's a guarantee with the right actions, with the right strategies. Way to go. Keep going.
Yes. And what happens is, you don't realize, I mean, let's face it, we did not know, right? I love it, Diane. Thank you. When we set goals, I want to sell 52 houses, one a week, right? When you do that and you say that, you don't know the addresses. I mean, when we're goal setting, we don't know the addresses yet. I want them to all be over 850. That'd be awesome, right? Or they could all be over 500. That can happen too. You just have to have a better strategy, which is at the core root of your problem. You just are winging it. We know that winging it doesn't work. Winging it just does not work. Okay. And I'm going to share with you the sales conversion process. See, what we do is you meet people you know, people you don't know. They come into your life, your client database of clients, past clients or real clients, right? They don't have a past realtor. We want to say client list, but I know you're thinking, well, my client list is my active clients right now. It's also the people you've sold homes to over the last 5, 10, 20, 30 years. People you know and people you don't know. Ideally, the moment you recognize that there is an opportunity that they will move, buy or sell, they become a lead, right? That's really a new relationship, a new opportunity. That lead, when you add value, becomes a client. They are going to work with you. That's your job, to add value, to get them to work with you. When you add value, people will hire you. When you add more value, they'll pay you more. I mean, my father taught me this. This is exactly how this works. So once they become a client, your job is to get an appointment with them immediately, even if they are 6 months out. I promise you, write this down. 82% of sellers, 82% of the time, choose the first person that came to their house to sell their home. So you want to get that appointment. And we know that after the appointment, face-to-face, this is like a face-to-face contact, full sport, right? Full contact sport. After the appointment, now we're in a position where we can write a listing agreement or a buyer agreement, and we're that much closer to going through the entire process. What we usually do, though, is we fail between converting the lead into a client. We drop the ball. We don't follow up with people. It takes 80% of the time, it takes 5 contacts. And there are coaches out there that, Sean isn't one of them, and I'm not one of them, but there are coaches out there that tell you if somebody ghosts you, to drop them after the 3rd time. Now, it takes 5 times. We know this, 80% of the time. And 50% of you give up after the first contact. So we have to have a better plan. Goldmine Pipeline will keep these people on a plan for you. The other thing that happens, and I hate to be the bearer of this, but this is in fact, like, I've been saying this for years, and I will tell you that it's a punch, it's like a baseball bat to the gut. But opportunities are not lost, everybody. They go to somebody else. Did you not follow up with somebody? Have you ever not followed up with someone who said they weren't serious and you saw the sign in their yard 2 or 3 weeks later? It's the worst feeling. If you've done that because you listened to what they said, instead of getting excited and getting an appointment with them, you took what they said for face value. And I have example after example of agents who have done this. Opportunities aren't lost. They don't vanish. They go to somebody else. I followed up with a lead on Goldmine Pipeline for 11 months. 11 months. Now, I didn't show them houses for 11. They ghosted me, Sean, for 11 months. And I would say, hey, Sherri Johnson. Hey, Sherri Johnson. Sent you some listings. Is this day better? And I even would call and say, let me know if you don't want me to call you. If you want me to stop calling you. And then I would say, I'll probably still call you. And I'd hang up. They never called to tell me to stop. In the 11th month, they called me up and they said, wow, do you even remember us? I said, of course I remember you. Twice a month, took 45 seconds to call them. They said to me, and I quote, we know 12 real estate agents from our business in town. We are choosing you because we know that you're going to sell our house and you'll follow up with every single lead. Clearly, that's what you did with us. So thank you for waiting for us. I was like, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. Now, the crazy thing, they bought and sold with me then, and less than 18 months later, they did it again. So I had 4 sales just simply by having a better follow-up plan. So here you can download the Goldmine Pipeline ebook and the form on this QR code. I hoped while I was talking, you scanned that. I'm going to show it to you again. I see a bunch of submissions coming in. We're going to avoid and get rid of the roller coaster ride right now. This up and down crisis selling is over. This slide gives me anxiety. People do the Goldmine Pipeline and they say, oh my gosh, my whole family says I'm calmer. Like, it's just going to revolutionize the way you look at a lead and the way you follow up with people and how you monetize, right? The actual, it's on my phone. Oh, you're on your phone. Well, we could get it to you. I'm sure there's a replay of this webinar. And Sean, if that's the case, we can send that form out with.
I can grab your URL and post that to the chat, guys. So I'll go ahead and do that. If you can't scan the QR code, don't worry. I'll get it in the chat for you.
Perfect. There you go. Perfect solution. So let's think about why this thing works, okay? I'm going to come back to this slide, but you'll note on here that the total potential business that you see on here is $54 million. Now, this agent normally sells $18 to $22 million a year for, I don't know, 15 years easily, okay? And what happened is she said to me, I want to make $1 million. And I'm stuck and I've plateaued. And I said, no problem. Let's get you started. So she put together the pipeline. And as you see, we've actually monetized the value of all of the leads. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And what has happened is there is literally 54 million. It actually turned into 57 million as well. There's another slide I have that's 57 million. It's 1.5 million in GCI. And the actual, and her 80% is $1.2 million. Now, I happen to know that agents usually will close, Sean, 85% of what's on the pipeline. But we need to have a full pipeline in order for every month someone to fall into A level status, A being in the next 2 months. So let me show you the actual form and how to fill it out. Number one, this is going to organize your leads. We have to have all listing leads on one page. Just the list side, please. Do not commingle people. We have 2 pages, one for listings, one for buyers. And that might be Mark and Lisa Smith are going to list their house for $450 and they're going to buy for $800. They would go on the form twice. They would go on the listing page for their listing, and then they would also appear on the buy side, okay, for $850 or $800. Now, if your average sale price, okay, is $500,000 for my example, we are going to do something really slick here in a minute. But what I want you to realize is every single potential opportunity goes on here. Whether you think you're getting a listing or not, whether you've met with these people or even talked to them yet, You might know they're moving before they do, because we know that. Our friends, our family members, we know people are moving sometimes before they say it out loud. So if you know you're getting 5 listings in the next couple of months, all those people go on here. All right. If you met people at an open house this past weekend, they go on here. Everybody goes on here. Every potential piece of business goes on here. Please do not make this about, Sean, sometimes agents are like, I don't know if I'm getting it. That's not this list. This is a list of if everybody you spoke to or everybody you thought would sell or buy, we're going to monetize the value of what it would look like. See, I sat in my condo and I was freaking out. Where are my next 5 deals going to come from? And so I have a framed version of my original pipeline. It's really funny, actually. And here's the deal. You have lots of business, right? You haven't looked at it like this ever in the history of your real estate career. So when you list 10 names, 10 potential sellers. Now I'm going to ask all of you this question, and the way I ask it is and frame it is going to be really interesting, because most of you are going to, again, think, I don't have 10 people, Sherri. But when I say, do you have 10 people that would sell their homes in the next 2 months to 2 years? So a different way to say that, isn't it? So we're not just looking at the next 3 months right now. We're looking at now until 2 years from now. Most of you, if I could see your faces, would be like, yeah, I have that. That's pretty easy to come up with 10 in 2 years. Yes. Okay, good. Put them down. Most of those people are going to also buy a replacement home from you. So those same 10 people are going to show up on the buyer side as well, right? So if we did some quick math, we know that at 500,000, we have a listing pipeline of 5 million. Like, just like that, with $5 million of potential business in listings only. And those same 10 people are going to buy another $5 million in buy sides. And boom, we are at a $10 million pipeline like right now. Okay. I realize a lot of those people aren't ready to do something right now. That's why we have to keep adding more people. Okay. But let's just say that through coaching with Sean, through wherever you are in your life. I don't know where you might have a coach somewhere else. You might have someone in your office that you work with. You're on a team, whatever. The point is, if you were able to increase your pipeline to 20 listing leads, and then those same 20 people are going to buy from you, that would be 20 listing leads. And now 20 buyer leads, that would be 40 potential pieces of business. And that pipeline all of a sudden is $10 million in listings and $10 million in buyer sides. And boom, we are at a $20 million potential pipeline. You will write this out and you will suddenly feel like the rock star that you always knew you could be. Okay. Literally in 15 minutes, I go from people telling me, I have no business. I suck. I have no business. I only have 4 buyers. And suddenly I say, how many people are you talking to about selling their home? And they're like, I have 25 of those. Like, I have 25 listing leads. That's not a bad pipeline. Please fill this. That agent came back to me. Her average sale price was around 220. Those 25 listing leads, I said to her, are they moving out of state? She said, no, none of them. So do the math, right? That's 50 transactions plus the 5 or 4 people she walked in my office with. She came back. She was dancing. She was laughing. She was hugging me. She had a $12.5 million pipeline. Now, this agent, Sean, normally her name is Mary. Mary used to do about $4.5 million a year, like clockwork, every year of life for 8 years in a row. She closed $8.5 million that year, just by writing it down on paper. Okay, so I want you to list these people. I want you to add it up. The best part of doing this is adding it up. If you don't add it up, there's nothing exciting about it. Okay.
A couple of things I want to say. I like that you have got 2 separate sheets, one for sellers, potential sellers, one for potential buyers and investors. I'd encourage you to print it on 2 separate color pieces of paper. Like everything we did on the seller side at TKG was yellow. Everything we did on the buyer side was green. And so in a stack of papers on your desk, you could grab your buyer leads, you could grab your seller leads. Nevertheless, color coding will definitely make you more efficient. I love it.
And so each page represents potential business. So when you say, gee, I don't know if these people are going to, I was talking to a coaching client once and I said to her, will they sell their house And she very slowly said, I mean, maybe if I, and I said, the whole list is maybe. Like, please, everybody, don't get hung up on if. Like, you need to put every lead down. I did this every year. I doubled my business. I've seen people go from 7 to 14 to $21 million in 3 years, right? So you have the ability right now to go through all of your phones. I mean, you have unengaged leads in your cell phones everywhere, in your emails, your past client lists. You can go through that, your open house registration sheets. And what do I mean by past client list? Well, if you sold somebody a house 2+ years ago, go into your list of people and take their names off of that list and put them onto the Goldmine pipeline. If nothing else, you'll be calling them and staying in contact with them. The other 2 pages of this form are going to give you your current listings to account for those. So let's say I'm at 20 million in buyer and seller leads, by the way, in my last example, right? 20 listing leads, 20 buyer leads. I'm at 20 million bucks in potential business. I have $3 million on the market in current listings. And then I have $3 million in closings, right? And I'm at 26 million. And then I've already closed 5 million this year, right? So I'm going to put the 5 million down as closed transactions on page 4. You'll see at the top, second chart, A, B, and C. Everybody, regardless of their time, whether they're an A, B, or C lead, and those are denoted on the form, right? An A being the next 60 days, B being up to 6 months, buyer or seller lead, and then a C person would be over 6 months. And remember, C people turn into A people very, very quickly. That is a fact. 26 million plus 5 million closed year to date puts me at a 31. If everybody bought and everybody listed and this whole thing came together, right? If all of it happened, the total of it would be $31 million. Now, you can multiply that by 85% and figure it out there. We do have this in a Google Sheet, and it will calculate it all for you. This is the OG. This is the original format. My favorite part of this is just looking at the A's. When you take the A prospects and put them on one column, one chart, and you pull all the A listings and all the A buyers, and I could say to Sean, my coach, Sean, in November, I should have 5 listings and 6 sales. And in December, I should have 4 listings and 4 sales. That's a really great place to be, right? Have we ever been able to forecast ever in this business? Pretty much no, right? So all your people eventually, like, think about this. It's October 28th. Wouldn't it be fabulous to know that you're going to have 6 listings and 6 sales in January? And then fast forward to like April, May, June of next year. When you build this backlog of inventory of buyers, you will always have people dropping into A-level status. Just work with them. Don't discount these leads. They're all good leads, and they will eventually materialize, right? They will eventually materialize. Again, you have to fill it. If you have a friend, somebody who says, I remember I was at the Starbucks here in Sugar Falls, and a guy who did IT work for me said, hey, Sherri, can you help my neighbor move? She's ready to sell her house. And I said, yes. I'm not getting her information right there. It was like, we're at a crosswalk. We've got our dogs. We're shouting across the street. I said, I'll text you. Now, every one of us knows that we will forget to text that person. Okay. And then what? That deal is gone. I want you to use any referral goes on here. Josh's neighbor goes on the pipeline as a listing. I write Canyon Lakes. I put 650. The homes in there go 650 to 2.5 million. You can put whatever you want. 650. The placeholder is the point. That will remind you to call the referring source, because so often we forget to do that. Now, again, I told you you need lots of people in the pipeline, and if you want to sell 36 houses, you need 1.5 times on your pipeline. So whatever number you want to sell, this 52, you need 1.5 times that in order to hit your 85%. So I like to round up, and in the rounding up, you end up with, in this case, 30 listing leads and 30 buyer leads. You'll actually close more than 36 deals. And it's a really fantastic way to do this, to do the business and to actually like win hugely. Remember, there are lots of ways to fill the pipeline. Open house sheets from weeks or months ago, okay, can be added to this very, very, very easily. You're not going to call these people and say, I met you, 6 months ago or whatever. You're just gonna say, hey, have you bought a house yet? Okay, every lead is a good lead. I want you to go through your phones because I guarantee you in your text messages, you have unengaged leads. We had a client, she did her pipeline. She normally sold 18 million a year. She had a pipeline of 30 million. She was ecstatic. We're at dinner and she said, Sherri, I got a text today that said the hardwood floors are almost done. And she said, I had no idea who it was. They're not in my phone. She had to go look them up. She said, I talked to them 6 months ago about a house in the country club villas. I said, were they on your pipeline? She said, no, but they are now. I mean, these are what the leads I'm talking about. You have them, they're in your phone. Go back. Please go back through all your text messages, your open house registration logs. Please go through your client list and agent statements, who you've sold a home to. Okay. So many agents sell houses like this. And you know what they say? Thank God I called them. They couldn't find my number. I said, did you just admit that to me? Right? I mean, got to call your past clients, right? And then you can go into your email and just do a search for buyer, seller, home, moving, relocating. You have emails of unengaged leads as well. These are all sitting right in your database. And I told you earlier, the fortunes and the follow-up, this 80% thing is real. It takes literally 5 contacts to get a yes. And we are giving up after the first call. Please realize that you just need to meet them where they are. Always get the next appointment. Schedule. I mean, my hairdresser does, right? Like, I'm not leaving her salon until she has me booked for 6 weeks from now because she wants her chair to be full all the time. And honestly, she told me that that is a strategy that they do. So when you think of hire, just book another appointment. I don't care if you don't have anything to show them. Sean
Yeah,
is
tune into that, you guys. One of the things that drove me nuts when I was running my team, Sherri, is that I'd go around the room clockwise and I'd just say, give me your top 3 buyers who you're working with and what are they looking for? And they'd announce it to the whole team to just cross-pollinate that info. Then after I went around the whole room, got all the buyers' information, then I'd say, okay, start with the first person. Do you have appointments set with your top 3 buyers? And the look on their face, it was like deer in the headlights, like I just caught them in the middle of a lie or something. It's weird to me. It's really weird. So guys, hear me on this. You should always have an appointment on the books with your motivated buyers, period. So you meet them on Saturday, you show them 3 houses, none of which worth. Do not leave their company until you've set your next appointment with them, even if you have nothing to show them. Then leave no stone unturned, have something to show them, but always, and I mean always, have an appointment on the books with your motivated buyers, always. All right. Thank you for letting me say that, Sherri. I'll get off the soapbox.
so, it's so crazy to me. Like, everything is progressing or regressing. So
This is
if you
true.
don't get the next appointment, like, you're going backwards. And we can't, you know how hard it is. If you don't call somebody again, they don't call you. Like, it's harder to get that person back. And sometimes they're just not in the flow of the mood. Just say, hey, we're gonna park this conversation. I'm gonna call you or book another appointment with you. Always get the next appointment, please. Just always do it. Now, real quickly, this $50,000 at your next open house, make it your most profitable and productive 2 hours of your week, 2 to 3 hours of your week. The thing I'm going to tell you right now is that you can hear the entire thing on my podcast, but this is like where you get listing appointments. And I will tell you that Sunday's open house day across the land, and 75% of open house attendees never get followed up on, which as an agent, I loved because I was in the 25% that was converting these people. As a broker, it made me insane because I was like, all these lost opportunities. So, what are you doing and how are you doing your open house? Let's do it with a better strategy and do it in a move up neighborhood where if you do an open house for first time buyers, you're not going to get any listing appointments from that, right? So, we want to be the house that's a move up house, and you want to be able to get through the weird. I can't go through the whole thing with you today for time, but here's what I want to show you. If you add value at this open house, you will get an appointment with those people while they are standing in front of you. And I mean in front of you, right? So here is what I say. Oops, here it is. So you're going to convert these leads by adding value to the conversation. You know, Sean, we were upstairs. You were talking about selling your home. You've been there 11 years. And I'm sure there are a lot of things that you need or you think need to happen to get it ready for sale. You also wanted to sell in about 6 months, which I completely understand. I add more value at the front end of the process. I can save you time and money with the home repair list that you're thinking about. You know, you might think that that slate floor in the back hall needs to be ripped out. I'm going to tell you, today's buyers love slate. I see this every day because I do this every day. We're going to take that money and put it to better use somewhere else in your home for a faster sale, or better off, just keep it in your pocket, right? So I can save you time and money before you hire a contractor. Everyone wants to save time and money. This is a way to add value to get an appointment now for a listing that's not happening for 6 months. Okay, is everyone following me? Second way is that I want to see your house because I just took down your search parameters and it adds value for me to see my client's current home. The colors, the sizes, the room dimensions, the things you love, the things you don't like. And then when I'm in your next house, I can be like, hey, Sean, this has the thing in the garage that you have to have, or in the basement or the laundry room or whatever. People love this. The third reason I want to see your house is that between now and the time I actually put a sign in your yard, because I'm getting this listing, between now and the time that I actually put a sign in your yard, I may have a buyer. In fact, I know I will because I work with a lot of buyers in the price range where your home is located. And wouldn't it be great if I already have seen your home? I will know if that house will work for one of my clients and for the right price and terms. And of course, I'd have to find you another home. All of this would have to line up, but wouldn't it be great if I had your home sold without a bet, right? Even before we even listed it. And they always say yes to that. So this is how you get that. And then, as you just said, you ask for the appointment, right? And so here's my best way to get that appointment. And honestly, you just have to say, once they acknowledge any of those comments, like literally any of these comments, right? It's my 2-option tie down, and it goes like this. Great. What's better for you, Thursday at 5 or Saturday at 10? Right? Because I'm coming. It's not a matter of if, it's when. So you need to tie it down. And when you say to somebody, when can I come and see your house? We know the answer, Sean. It's never. It's never a good time to come and see my house. So you just give them 2 options and they'll pick one. Okay. And you will have appointments from your open house. And by the way, you'll be putting those people on the Goldmine pipeline, just like that client did who had 7 leads that turned into 14 potential transactions. $6.5 million went on his Goldmine pipeline. It was about $190,000 in GCI. Not a bad day at a 2 or 3 hour open house. Lastly, I'm going to tell you, always set this one goal. If you can do this, like if you literally just set a goal to have a certain number of listing appointments every week, Sean, you know this, right? Everything else will happen. You focus on setting appointments for yourself, primarily listing appointments. I promise you, you will be ecstatic because you're going to say, oh my gosh, I have appointments every single week that I go into my work week. I'm loaded next week for appointments. I already have them booked. So please do yourself the biggest favor by getting yourself in the habit of just booking appointments, because that alone is going to be a game changer for you. Your success is contagious. You will get more results. You will get more confidence. The more you fill that pipeline and you add that number up and you say to Sean, or text me, or call your coach, or say to a friend who's on here, I have 3 times what I normally sell in a year. Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. I saw something in the chat. We are lucky to get 1 to 2 parties. Wow, even getting it out there in flyers. That's interesting. How do you get people to come? Well, we have solutions for you to drive more traffic to your open houses. So Tina, just send me a text. I'll send you that that checklist of how to get more people to your open houses. I feel bad. We have people getting 40 people. I think it's definitely market driven. But yes, getting the people there is the first step. Getting your pipeline filled is the very first step. And again, I told you at the beginning of this that I would offer a free coaching call to any of you that would like to. Here's the QR code to do that. I am so excited that you are here. I know that when you add up the pipeline, usually, Sean, when I watch people's faces, their eyes get big. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this is happening. Because to them, again, you're in the scarcity mode of only talking to 2 to 3 people that want to do something right now. When I say 2 months to 2 years, it's a completely different equation, isn't it? So do yourself a favor, fill that pipeline out. If you want to spend this 20 minutes going over the pipeline with me, I'm happy to do that. Happy to talk to you about our coaching or just talk to you about what you're doing and what's working, what's not working. It's an absolutely free call. It's not a pitch. We just want to help you. And I want you to get the most out of today and the most out of the Goldmine Pipeline. And lastly, I just want to say again, Sean, thanks for having me. This is so fun to work with you. What a blessing. And I'll put my phone number in here. I just noticed somebody asked for it. Any questions? Or Sean, you want to add? Please do.
Well, first off, the blessing goes both ways, Sherri. Thank you so much for just bringing the valuable content to our audience. Guys, the Goldmine Pipeline, it's a great way to begin focusing on what you really should be focusing on. Remember, it's been proven scientifically that what we focus on expands. Focus on the problems, guys, get more problems. Focus on a plan. It pushes you to a future mind space that has a positive impact on the current environment, meaning your mindset, as well as your current actions and future results. So guys, I'm so glad you were here today. Sherri, thank you for bringing your A game as you always do. Guys, scan her QR code. She'll help you, no doubt about that. And certainly we here at Icon Coaching still love your business. We want to see you crush it. So feel free to reach out to me if you had any questions about what Sherri had to say today, or reach out to Sherri directly. No judgment either way, guys. And I just so appreciate y'all being here. Again, we're going to do this next Tuesday. So guys, mark your calendars. 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. Just carve out that 1 hour for me every single week. I'm going to bring my A game, and I'm going to ask that you do the same. And together, we're going to lock arms and build your business in a powerful way. Sherri, again, can't thank you enough. That was so good. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And, again, I mentioned that Sean will be on my podcast, which will be one of the best ones ever. You're literally an icon, and I love the name of your coaching company. I don't have the checklist handy. I think someone's asking Bill, so please text me. I'll send it to you. I don't want to go get it, but there, it's my last little thing into the chat. Thank you. Wherever you are, this is the rest of this quarter. Let's make it happen. Don't fall asleep like every other agent is right now. Maximize this year, and you'll start out January with lots of closings and lots of profit. Sean, thanks so much. Say hello to your mom for
My
me.
pleasure. Yeah, I will. She's just in the office next door. I'll say hi when I see her. But
It's me.
and gang, when I do the podcast with Sherri, I'm going to send you all that replay. I encourage you, just listen to it. It's my intention to just add value, help you improve your production. That's the bottom line. That's what I want to see happen. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Sherri, thank you again. We'll talk to you all soon. Until then, just be on purpose, be productive, and as always, be powerful. See y'all again next week. Bye-bye.